Good morning, dear friends. Last class we discussed about principles of laser, requisites, and also Einstein's coefficient. So that is for the production of a laser light. So today we will discuss ruby laser. In this ruby laser, so the learning objectives and session outcome is, so to understand the construction and working process of a ruby laser and also to understood the production of a ruby lasers. So how here we are going to produce the ruby laser means, here we having a two kinds of a composite elements. There is a Al2O3 and Cr2O3. These two composite mixtures combine together to form a ruby rod. They having a different concentration. So aluminum oxide is around 95%, chromium oxide is around 5%. The combination of these two to form a ruby rod. This ruby rod is in this structure. So center part of the bar is ruby rod. So to that ruby rod, they having a two mirrors. One side mirror is fully reflective mirror, another side partially is reflective mirror. So and then to this ruby rod, one helical xenon lamp will be surrounding it. So one side is connected to electrode positive, another side is connected to electrode negative. And also around this xenon flash tube, we are going to connect in a two mirrors. That mirrors is also in a circular order. That is the construction process. The working process is, after applying a low tension battery, the xenon flash lamp is emitting a photons. So these photons will be instantly a ruby rod. This ruby rod, it gets induced absorptions. That is a aluminum oxide. Aluminum oxide are the lighter particles. So it gets the excitation process. And also a chromium oxide. Chromium oxide also is a lighter particles. It gets the induced absorptions. Here we know the aluminum oxide is the one kind of a composite materials. It gets the induced absorption and excited to the excited states. And chromium oxide is also a interacting with the induced absorption. It also absorbs the photons, gets induced absorptions. These two will be gets induced absorption takes place. So lighter particle is chromium oxide. Heavily absorption takes place. It excited from ground state to the excited states. So this condition, this concept here we can observe in this energy level diagram. So the chromium oxide will be excited from ground state to the excited state. It will be stay back up to a 10 to the power of -8 or -9 seconds. So that one is the excited state energy levels. So here, this chromium oxide is, after finishing its lifetime 10 to the power of -9 seconds, it's come back to the ground, come back to the downward transitions. At the time of downward transition, here we are going to make it another energy level just below the excited states. That is we called as E2 state. Here, due to the spontaneous emission, from the E3 level takes the downward transition from E3 to E2. So such kind of a downward transition is we called as a non-radiative transitions. At the time of transition from E3 to E2, it does not emit any kind of a radiations. So far it is we called as a non-radiative states because of the energy difference of E3 and E2 is very, very less. So the value will be very less comparatively of total energy value of the particular energy value. The difference is very, very less. It's around 1%, less than 1%. So far, at the time, the downward transition is we call as a non-radiative transitions. After that, all the electrons will be come back to the metastable state E2, gets the accommodation takes place at the state up to a 10 to the power of minus 3 seconds. So 10 to the power of minus 3 seconds is a larger time durations comparatively of E3 state. So due to such kind of a induced absorption and spontaneous emission, more number of electrons gets accommodation takes place at the excited state, that is E2 state or metastable state. In this condition, after some interval of time, we can observe more number of electrons are present at the metastable state compared to the ground state. In this condition is we called as population inversions. After a population inversion, so just here we can observe the diagram. So all the electrons releasing a photons, these photons will be moving inside the ruby rod, inside a glass chambers, in between a glass chambers. This will be forth and back reflection takes place between the two mirrors. It leads to increase the number of photons due to the collisions. The increasing of these photons, intensity of the laser light is also increases. After matching the certain amount of intensity of light radiation, what we are going to maintain at the partially silvered glass mirror, some part of the light radiations will be gets transmission takes place by partially silvered glass mirror. That released light radiations is we called as a laser. That is a monochromatic laser light. That one is here we can observe, that is 6943 angstroms. This 6943 angstroms is a single color monochromatic directionality focusability radiations is we called as a monocoherent electromagnetic radiations. So this one is we can observe from the energy level diagrams. Here in the aluminum oxide and chromium oxide, the main responsible for the production of a laser light is chromium oxide. But aluminum oxide is just helps to produce the laser radiation by the chromium oxides. So this is the way here we are going to understand the production of a ruby laser from the construction and working process. Dear students, of knowing this production of a laser light, so we can discuss some multiple choice questions. First one is, which of the following is the 3-level laser? So there is a ruby laser. Now here what we discuss is ruby laser. That 3 levels means ground state, excitation state and metastable state. These are the 3 energy levels. Second one is the lifetime of the metastable state of a ruby laser is, it is given in the energy level diagram, that is 10 to the power of minus 3 seconds. Third one is the head of the ruby rod works as a, so it is a one kind of a thing, that is a cavity mirrors. It is not a pumping source, it is not an active source, it is not a energy levels. So next one is the pumping mechanism used in the ruby rod is, so that is in a what kind of optical pumping, electrical excitation, chemical pumping and thermal pumping. Your optical pumping is the pumping mechanisms, because here the photons will be releases from the xenon flash lamps. It carries the energies in the form of photons. That one is carries the energy in the form of light energies. So that is we call as optical pumping. So this is the concept of the production and construction and production of a laser light radiations. And also the lifetime of the metastable state is around 10 to the power of minus 3 seconds. So it's about our construction and working process of a ruby laser. Thank you one and all.